What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Zach's Wildlife channel, and today I'm going to tell you and show you how to start fishing like a pro. So today's video is going to cover multiple things. We're going to talk about 3 baits that you must have to catch any freshwater fish any time of the year. After that, we're going to talk about how to rig those baits, how to fish those baits, and then lastly, how to remove a fish from your hook. So if there's sections of this video that you want to check out more than others, I'm going to have timestamps below in the description that you can just fast forward right to. So that being said, let's get right to it. Alright guys, let me just start by saying for you beginner fishermen that fishing is so easy. We as fishermen make it difficult, right? So if you just keep it simple, you'll be able to catch anything in the water with these 3 baits. Starting with worms. These are going to catch you anything from bluegill to catfish. You gotta have a spinnerbait. A spinnerbait will catch big bass, northern. They're weedless. The skirt keeps it weedless. The blade makes noise, attracts the fish. Lastly, we got the curly tail grub, or as I call them, twisters. These twisters are gonna catch you anything from crappies, walleyes, northern, bass, smallmouth bass, everything, up to and including muskie. Muskie will be hitting something probably a little bit bigger than this size, but they'll even catch muskie. Other things you might need are a pole, a bobber, some weights, keep your bait down and your bobber vertical, and these little jig heads. You can get these anywhere. So they have different sizes, different weights. You add the twister tail to the bottom. I'll be showing you how to do that. But these help keep your bait look attractive and edible. So that's that, and let's get to rigging and using these baits. Alright guys, so when you're using worms, you can rig it a few different ways, right? You can rig it with a bobber, where the bobber sits, and when it goes down, you set the hook and try and catch the fish. This is usually for panfish, fish like that. And then you can also hook your worm up so that it lies on the bottom, and that's going to catch your catfish and your carp and stuff like that, bottom feeders. So the way I'll be showing you right now is with a bobber. So one thing I did forget to mention, I don't know how I forgot to mention it, but this hook is the only thing catching your fish, and you do need these. So oops. Alright, so when you're hooking up your bobber, depending on what bobber you have, there's different types of bobbers. This is just a push bobber, where you push on the top and that hook comes out, and then you slide the line under, and then it stays like that, right? But your bobber will be upside down and sideways, so you have to hold now the bottom part that pushed out before, and the top will have a hook that comes out. And then you're gonna put your line through the top part. And then after that, your bobber's on. So let's say your line's in the water and your bobber isn't sitting straight up, it's sitting sideways. That typically means you need to add weight to your line so that your line will go from like this, going in the current, to straight down. So that way, when a fish tugs on it, it goes straight down. So when we add a weight, we're gonna take these little sinkers, there's a slot with a sinker, and you're gonna slide the line in that slot. And then some people will bite down that slot, and other people have pliers. So I don't really like ruining my teeth on metal, so I'll use the pliers this time. But once you clamp it down in the line, there's your rig. That's it. That's all there is to it. Let's show you how to fish with it. Alright you guys, so now that you found a place to fish, let's show you how to rig your worm. So typically, night crawlers for sure are absolutely humongous, huge, way too much, right? So you can pinch off what you don't need, and then after you do that, you want to not leave long ends hanging for the fish because they'll just pull your worm right off. So I do this like triple layer hook through the top, let it sit, and see how that's gonna work. You don't want the hook like completely showing, you want still a little bit covered. That way your hookups are better and they don't really quite get that this might be a setup. So now you're gonna cast out into the water. Just like that. Our bobber is completely vertical, so that means we have just the right amount of weight and we will know when we're gonna hit a bite. Okay, we are at spot number 2, hoping there's a fish. He's taking it. See how he's moving the bobber? If you think he's really got it like this, you can set the hook. Just like that, you have yourself, well, a small bass. Thought that was gonna be a panfish. All right, so panfish have spines on their back. I know this isn't a panfish, but he still does have some spines on his back. So what you want to do is start down by his head, and you're just gonna slide back so your fingers are resting on his dorsal fins. He's not strong enough to poke you now. So that's a really easy and effective way to get your hooks out, because he can't hurt you, you're comfortable, and voila, little guy. And you throw him back. All right, so we rewormed. I'm gonna try casting that shoreline a couple more times, see if we can show you a better example of a good bite. There we go. He's taking it. See how the bobber's under now? And you just take him. Simple as that. Now here's a bluegill. Perfect. So now you see those spikes. It looks like I hooked him in the gill, so we're gonna have to rush this. So he has spikes. You can see them very clearly. So you're gonna start down by the head and just push the dorsal fins straight down. And he's not going to be an issue at all for you. Even if he tries to squirm, he's not going to be able to get away. So you can see the hook's pretty deep, so I'm going to turn the camera off and attend to him, but now you know just exactly how to handle your fish when you catch them. Okay, so now that we've fished with worms, we've rigged worms, and we've caught fish with worms, let me show you how to fish with a spinnerbait. So to rig it up, all you're gonna have to do is, you see that little loop right there? You're gonna have to put your line through the loop. There you go, and tie your preferred knot. What I recommend with these spinnerbaits, because you do catch a lot of northern, is using a good braid line or even a steel leader. I'm not a big fan of steel leaders, but some people are. And that'll prevent you from breaking off or losing a ton of lures and stuff like that. So I'm gonna finish tying this knot, and then we are going to throw it around. All right guys, now that we're all rigged up, I'm gonna quickly show you how this moves in the water. So you're gonna see that the blades spin as you reel it in, and they're also causing vibrations in the rod and in the water. and those fish can pick up on those vibrations. So I'm not sure how well you could see that, but I'm hoping you get the point. Now, for fishing with this, all you have to do is cast it out there and reel it in. It's easy. This is my go-to lure. I love using these spinner baits because they don't take any thought. You can just kind of do it automatically and it does the work for you. There we go. There's a fish. That didn't take long at all, did it? I'm telling you, these spinner baits are go-to. And it looks to be a real nice bass. Nice. Look at that, you guys. So, now you've caught your bass. What you want to do to hold a bass is they don't have teeth, so you can stick your thumb right there, just like that. And you're gonna hold these bass, and it allows you to then just pop that hook right out, and you can safely let him go. Check him out, you guys. That is a beautiful fish. Awesome. Let's let this guy go. That is a great fish for that spinnerbait. Absolutely love it. Love throwing spinnerbaits. There he goes. I'm telling you guys, that was like my third or fourth cast. These spinnerbaits do damage in the water. Alright, you guys, so lastly, we got ourselves some grub tail worms, or as I call them, twisters. So you can't just pull these out of the package and throw them on a regular hook. I mean, you could, but they're less effective. So what you gotta get, and they don't cost anything, are these jig heads. So to rig this up, you throw your line through the jig head eye, just like that. Tie your preferred knot. Okay, now that you've got your preferred knot tied and your jig all set, you're gonna open these up. You can choose any kind. The brand doesn't matter. The bait is essentially all the same. Bright colors work really well. Some are flavored, some are scented. These I think are flavored and scented. So you're gonna want to have this turn away from the hook, and you're gonna have the hook come out right where the tail begins. So you're gonna put it through, keep pushing, and then when it gets out towards the bottom, you move it, and that's essentially it. So now that you have that, it's kind of like the same thing with the spinnerbait. You're just gonna cast it and reel it in. Let's see if we can get something on this. Okay, so first cast with the twister. Oh, we had one with the first cast, guys. I kid you not. One side, I'll take the other. Perfect. I'm just about done anyway. Are you getting anything or no? Just recently. You getting? Nice bass and a couple bluegill. The bluegill aren't quite in yet, but all right. So there are a couple ways to fish this. You can just straight reel it in like this. And then you can also like reel it, give it a couple jerks, bring it down, reel in your slack, give it a couple jerks, and just like that, you got yourself a fish. Another nice bass. I'm telling you guys, these are the baits to use here. open his mouth, like so, and just pop the hook. I'm telling you guys, these are the baits you need. These are the baits you need. Alright guys, as you saw, we can catch anything with these baits. Bass, panfish, we almost had a northern. You know, whether you're the everyday fisherman or you're just trying not to embarrass yourself in front of a new girlfriend, these tips I hope helped you. And for more videos like this, I need you to like and subscribe and be back next Thursday with me. Zach out.